And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene. We're at the Wee Street Ice Center, Tulsa area's premier entertainment and dining complex, featuring one of the area's largest sports bars, Pucks. Take a look at our lineup for the week. You know we're getting closer to the college football season when the preseason magazines hit the stands. One of the best for over 30 years has been Lindy's Sports. Publisher Lindy Davis joins us on a video Zoom call. Our good friend Barry Lewis, Tulsa World High School sports editor, joins us on set to wrap up the world's All-World Awards banquet, spotlighting the area's top prep athletes. Robert Taylor, a resident sports memorabilia collector, has some special items and personal memories to honor the late great baseball icon Willie Mays. Tulsa Indoor Professional Football League team is fighting for a playoff spot. They close the regular season with 3 home games. Team's play-by-play man Luke Hamilton has a preview. But first, we begin with our Tulsa World Hot Topics. With the official start of summer last week, professional winter sports seasons have wrapped up. It took almost 6 months, 2,460 regular season games, plus 4 rounds of playoffs for the National Basketball Association to crown its 23-24 champion, the Boston Celtics, winning a record 18th NBA title, beating the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. One other NBA note, Monty Williams, a favorite in this area as the assistant coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, 2015-16, was fired by the Detroit Pistons 1 year after a record 6-year, $78 million contract. He had a 14-68 record this season, though, on a 28-game losing streak. Don't feel too bad for Monty, though. Pistons have to pay him $65 million to leave. In hockey, the Stanley Cup Finals came down to Florida's Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. Falling behind 3-0 in the best-of-7 series, the Oilers rallied to tie at 3-3, deciding Game 7 Monday night in Florida. What a game and what a Stanley Cup series. The Southeastern Conference showed it's not just a football conference, but baseball, the number 1 too. They went 5-0 against Atlantic Coast Conference opponents in the College World Series in Omaha, led by number 1 seed Tennessee, set up in all SEC finals against number 4 seed Texas A&M. Both programs looking for its first College World Series games came down to the third and final game on Monday night.
He needs a strike. Burton needs a bolt. Swing and a miss. And for the first time, Rocky Top reaches the mountaintop of college baseball. They are the World Series champions.
Tulsa Drillers closed out its first half of the Texas League baseball season with a 32-31 record, 2.5 games out of first place. Now on the road for 6 games this week against Northwest Arkansas. Tulsa closes out the month of June, here with a home series against Amarillo this Tuesday, the 26th, through Sunday, the 30th. Tulsa Indoor Professional Football League team, the Oilers, played its final road game of the 2024 season this past Saturday night, went to Iowa and beat the Barnstormers 54-48. We'll talk about with Luke Hamilton and look forward to the 3 games coming up for the Oilers to finish out the regular season at home. FC Tulsa went unbeaten in 2 home matches this past week, hosting Miami FC on Wednesday the 19th, this past Saturday the 22nd against powerful Sacramento Republic FC. In the Miami match, Tulsa rallied for a 2-1 victory, scoring its 2nd straight win on its home pitch at One Oak Field. Philip Goodrum had a goal and an assist. He got Tulsa even in the 61st minute with his header on an assist from Harvey St. Clair. Game winner came 10 minutes later off the foot of Diego Pacheco, with Goodrum getting the assist in the 71st minute, put Tulsa up 2-1 for the victory. Last Saturday, the 22nd, hosting Sacramento Republic, Tulsa battled out one of the league's top teams to a scoreless tie to push its record to 4-5-5 with 17 points. New goalkeeper Johan Penaranda got the shutout as they earned 7 of 9 possible points in 3 matches in the homestand, winning 9th place in the Western Conference. Next home match, July 30th, against Memphis FC. This Monday, July 1st, it's finally official. The University of Oklahoma joins the Southeastern Conference, college athletics #1 power league. They leave the Big 12 behind, and it's home since 1996. And at midnight, July 1st, fans get their first opportunity to buy officially licensed OU-branded SEC merchandise. They can get the stadium or online at shop.soonersports.com. OU officials have a massive statewide party planned on Monday the 1st. Events in Norman, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. ending with a free, family-friendly party in the Palace inside Memorial Stadium with live music and with a drone show above Owen Field. It all begins, though, Monday morning with events at 8 a.m. to 9:30 in Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Here in Tulsa, the King, Barry Sitch, will be here. Headline the Sooner celebrities, the Mother Road Market, OKC at Toby Keith's Place, the athletic director Joe Castiglione and other Sooner coaches, the Pride of Oklahoma, and Spirit Squad at both locations. The SEC Network, by the way, will be broadcasting nationally from 2 to 8 p.m., including the Paul Feinbaum Show. So come party with the Sooners on July the 1st. They join the SEC now 3 years after the Southeastern Conference invited OU and Texas to come back in July 2021. Oklahoma head football coach Brent Venables heads into his third season, into his team's first in the SEC, with a new 6-year contract worth $51 million. It figures out to $8.5 million a season. Boomer. Next, the publisher of one of the nation's top preseason football magazines, Lindy Sports, Lindy Davis, is a preview of 2024. Where does he project OU in the SEC standings this fall?
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Winning action continues throughout the summer at Remington Park. Simulcast racing begins daily before noon from the top tracks across North America. Jackpot play is always available as the casino is always open. Mark your calendars now for the 2024 Thoroughbred season at Remington Park, starting August 16th and continuing through December 13th. Winning racing and casino play every day at Remington Park.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Are you ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers? Saturday night, June 29th, 7:05 at the BOK Center. Let's rally behind the team as they take on the Green Bay Blizzard. The first 1,000 fans get a Tulsa Oilers bucket hat. That's right, a Tulsa Oilers bucket hat. Don't miss the action. Tickets are on sale now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
Well, you can tell it's almost time for college football when this magazine hits the stands. This is Lindy's outstanding, America's leading football authority for so many years, and with us right now, glad to have with the publisher himself, Lindy Davis. Lindy, give us a bit of history of this magazine and what it takes to put something like this together.
Well, Chris, believe it or not, I was in law school in Birmingham, Alabama in 1981, and I had a crazy idea about starting a magazine. And my dad agreed unbelievably to put up some money, even though I had no experience anyway. We published the Southeastern Conference in 1982 was our first issue. And we've been going at it ever since. This is our 43rd year to do a magazine. You ask what it takes to put together. Well, you've got our SEC book.
Yeah.
Of course, we do an SEC, a Big Ten, and National College book. But and we put all that writers together. We have 95 different people contributed to these magazines. So it's quite an ordeal. I'll say that. We work very hard at it, but very fortunate to have great staff. Anthony Domino has been my senior editor for 25 years now. Before that, Don Boris was a few years. Don Boris used to be he was college football editor for Sporting News before he went to work with Lindy's. Now he assists Anthony in our putting our college books together. So really great staff, a lot of hard work, but Anyway, we try to give the fans a whole lot of information. I think we do that.
Well, you sure do. 232 pages of this. I was going to ask, what's the timetable to start getting this thing put together for the season?
Well, we start with back in January. We start assigning, figure out what the features are going to be, and make assignments and some photo assignments. Start working on photos, what we need for the book. But of course, as you know, Chris, all the teams are dated, so we can't write these stories to the end of spring training. So it's a tremendous 2 or 3 week period where we're just covered up, working day and night to put it together, because you just, so much of the book is dated and you can't do it until a certain time. And of course, with the transfer portal, that makes that even more difficult. So it's a few months process, but in very, very intense 2 or 3 weeks. You mentioned the SEC is 232. Our national college book is 264. So,
wow.
Yeah, and our Big Ten book, with the addition of the 4 teams, is 252. So a lot of pages, a lot of content.
Well, let's give us your thoughts now on the SEC, how you rate the teams, and how do the new Oklahoma Sooners fit into the picture this year?
Well, Georgia's still the team to beat in the SEC. I think we can both pretty much agree with that. Texas is loaded on paper. We've got Texas second. They did well in the portal. Excuse me. They got, of course, 2 outstanding quarterbacks. So we've got Texas behind them, and I think that's generally the consensus in the SEC that most people will have. Then you get into some debate, Alabama or Ole Miss. We actually picked Ole Miss ahead of Alabama. Alabama fans are so spoiled. I got a guy online. He said he couldn't buy the magazine because he picked Alabama all the way down at 7th this year. So kind of crazy. But Ole Miss done very well in the portal. They got two Florida's best defensive player, and then Walter Nolan. I'm sure you know that name from A&M. He was like #1 player in the country coming out a couple years ago, and we know they'll score a lot of points. Alabama's got a good roster still, and an excellent head coach in Caden DeBoer, we think. So they're going to be a factor. We've got Oklahoma down in the middle, which is hard to believe for a program of Oklahoma's statute, but that's how tough the league is right now. As you know, Oklahoma lost the offensive coordinator, lost the quarterback, of course, Dylan Gabriel going to Oregon, even though they got a very talented kid in Jackson Arnold. But they got a whole new offensive line, too. So new coordinator, new quarterback, new offensive line in a very brutal league. So there's a lot of question marks. But they're recruiting well. And Oklahoma won't stay in the middle of the league for long. I don't think that. But right now, that's where we got them at 8th out of 16, which is it's kind of hard to believe. But that's how tough the league is right now.
Lindy Davis, publisher, Lindy Sports, their 43rd year and specializing in the Southeastern Conference, where OU, of course, is making their debut this year. So with your office in Birmingham, Alabama, can you give OU fans what can they expect now? They have teams like Bama, Tennessee, and South Carolina coming to Norman, and then road trips for the first time to Auburn, Ole Miss, and LSU.
Well, obviously, it's a tough road for sure. I mean, Auburn, with Tennessee, Tennessee's got a great young quarterback, and Nico with a long last name. I won't try to pronounce his last name, but Tennessee's got a talented roster. Tennessee's got some great wide receivers, so that will be a test for the Sooners for sure. At Auburn is never an easy place to play. Auburn, pretty much everybody will tell you, Chris, that Auburn is as tough to play as there is in the Southeastern Conference. They have this has always been like that. They have a tremendous fan base, and they go wild. It's a very difficult place to play. You've seen that with Alabama over here. Auburn's caused Alabama fits down there. And you know what Alabama's done otherwise. That's the only team that really they beat Saban, a few times. They did, But anyway, Auburn's a very difficult place to play. I don't have to tell you about Texas. You know more about that one than I do. At Ole Miss, again, this will be Ole Miss's most talented roster in the history of their program, and that's not an exaggeration. If you look at our All-American list, we've got 3 of their wide receivers in the top 25. Okay, ooh. Their quarterback's back. Their 2 offensive guards transferred from Washington, who won the Joe Moore Award last year. So they're off, and we know Lane Kiffin knows offense. So their offense should be off the charts. As I mentioned earlier, they got two of the best defensive guys in the portal. So their defense is going to be improved. That's going to be a very tough trip. Missouri had their best years, in many years. Got a lot of guys coming back, including Luther Burton and their quarterback. So that's not going to be an easy trip. And then it's a tough at Missouri, Alabama, and at LSU. I don't have to tell you about Alabama. Everybody knows about Alabama. They're still good. And then you got to go to LSU. So Death Valley, always a very difficult, tough place to play. So it's a tough schedule. Make no mistake about it. But the Sooners are talented. They've recruited well, certainly the last couple of years. Venables, he may need another year for LSU, for Oklahoma to be competing for championships. But hey, it's a brutal league. What can you say? And with Oklahoma and Texas, it's funny, Chris. I think most of the teams in the SEC, once they expanded, everybody said, well, we'll go to a 9-game conference schedule. They've been at 8 for a long time, and most of the rest of the country didn't like that because everybody else played 9, and they only played 8. And I think everybody in the conference said, well, we're going to go to 9 when we expand the league. Then everybody realized, well, we got to play Oklahoma and Texas now every year. So I think they kind of backtrack off that. They said, wow, it's brutal as it is now, which it is. At 8 with Oklahoma and Texas, you're playing one of those every year. So I don't know. It's just a brutal league. As you know, it was already the top league in the country, pretty much consensus by everybody. And then you had Oklahoma and Texas, and now it's just also charged tough.
I know Sooner fans are really excited about a couple of trips. They've heard so much about Ole Miss and the Grove, and of course, Tiger Stadium at night down at LSU and Baton Rouge. 2 great trips.
The Grove is a fascinating thing if you have never been, and I'm sure most Oklahoma fans have not probably, but it's a unique deal. It's considered the greatest. Well, Ole Miss has always said, we may not win the game, but we'll win the party. That's kind of that's been kind of their mantra, and it's kind of been true. I have been to the Grove. It's fascinating. And then there's no fans like LSU fans, and that really is some truth. The Cajuns, they tailgate like nobody does, and they're really rabid, as you know. And Death Valley's probably play Saturday night. You hope you play in the afternoon. You'd rather play in the afternoon if you're a Sooner fan, even though it may not be the same experience, but you got a better chance of winning in the afternoon. That's almost a given. So you hope to get them in the afternoon. And of course, that all depends on TV. But yeah, 2 terrific road trips. And Tennessee and Alabama coming in to Norman. That's got to be two games that fans are looking forward to. So it's exciting. I'll tell you, Chris, I've looked at just the conferences combining like they are. It makes for more good games than we've ever had in college football. There's no question about it. You're going to have more big, terrific games than we've ever had. So I think most fans are very excited about the 12-team playoff and expanded conference. Not everybody likes it. And of course, we've got a lot of crazy things going on in college football, NIL, transfer portal, which we'd like to see that regulate a little better. And hopefully it will be. But still, it's a very exciting time for college football.
We're talking Lindy Davis, publisher of Lindy's outstanding magazine. We call it the America's authority when it comes to football, especially Southeastern Conference and college football. We're going to take a break, come right back and talk some more about his some of the feature articles in Lindy's and some of their thoughts on portal, NIL, and the future of college athletics. I'll take this break on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
It's time. Time to get back to the basics. Time to meet up with family and friends. Time to play ball. It's time to cheer on your Tulsa Drillers. It's Hornsby time. It's Tulsa time in the heart of the city. It's time to fire it up.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Are you ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers? Saturday night, June 29th, 7:05 at the BOK Center. Let's rally behind the team as they take on the Green Bay Blizzard. The first 1,000 fans get a Tulsa Oilers bucket hat. That's right, a Tulsa Oilers bucket hat. Don't miss the action. Tickets are on sale now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
You've seen the billboards, you've heard the hype, and now it's time for the Wee Street Ice Center to open its doors and welcome you in. 140,000 square feet, 2 ice rinks, public skating, hockey, arcade, game simulators, and the largest sports bar and grill is sliding into Tulsa. It's the grand opening of the new Wee Street Ice Center, 43rd and Yale. Make your plans, get your skate on, or watch some sports today. The Wee Street Ice Center, now open and ready to serve you. Wee Street Ice Center, 43rd and Yale.
And we're back on Oklahoma Sports Scene. We're back with Lindy Davis of Lindy Sports, the American authority when it comes to college football in the Southeast Conference, of course. And Lindy, you have some really neat feature articles in here. One I especially noticing is Dennis Dodd, one of your senior writers, done an article on all the changes in college football and what's looking like the future of the sport.
Well, there's no doubt the change is incredible with the NIL and transfer portal, Chris. We all hope that we get some regulations on NIL. Right now, it's really unregulated. It's the great Wild West, which is not good, but it is what it is. A lot of people had said, paying players would be the demise of college football. Dennis points out that last year we had record ratings on television, record attendance. So, it is what it is. I do hope it gets regulated. Congress, I'm not sure Congress is the best way to go about it. I think probably the SEC and Big Ten figuring out the solution, and then that becomes what it is. But the transport portal, we need a little tighter windows on that too, I think. So I think there's some things that can be done. But it is a very exciting time. Dennis Dodd points out this is one day. This is, I believe, October the 12th. Chris, check these games out, October the 12th. One Saturday, Ole Miss at LSU, Florida at Tennessee, Washington at Iowa, Ohio State at Oregon, Penn State at USC, and, of course, Oklahoma and Texas. I mean, I'm glad I went to Alabama. I'm glad don't have a big game that day because I'm going to be by my TV. What a smorgasbord of great college football. And I just, like I said earlier, I'm not going to say it's going to be that good every Saturday, but there are more great games this year than ever before. It's very exciting. 12-team playoff, very exciting. So no doubt college football is changing. And Dennis Dodd, who's our senior writer, gives you a very good overview on those changes.
And, of course, on the feature as well, on the expansion to the college football playoffs, the new era there. We jump from 4 to 12 teams to really make it really exciting for the postseason.
No question about it. I mean, the question is, what's it going to take to get in? 10, if you're in a major conference, 10-2, you're in. And I think there's no question about it. If you win 10 games in the SEC or Big Ten, I think you're in. That's my opinion. I don't know how you won't be in, but I won't be surprised, Chris, if somebody 93 gets in. I really won't. I mean, it's so brutal. The schedules are so brutal, but it's going to be exciting. I mean, I can't wait for it to unfold. Terrific time to be a college football fan. And as I said, more big games than ever. And we're excited. Being an SEC guy for a long time, we're excited to have Oklahoma and Texas in and what that's going to bring. I look forward to hopefully making a trip to Norman this year.
Well, besides previewing all the big college football teams, the SEC, and looking at the schedules nationally, also got into recruiting, both SEC recruiting and national recruiting. That's quite a challenge too.
It is. We're very fortunate. 24/7. They've been our partner for a long time, and they supply a tremendous amount of information. Recruiting is the backbone of any team. Everybody knows that, and we try to give you a ton of information there, and we do give you a ton of information there. And we rank the recruits Well, this year, for the first time, we added a portal page where we ranked the portal, or 24/7 ranked the portal for us. So anyway, no, recruiting is a huge part of college football, always has been, and the fans love it. I think there's more recruiting sites than I think maybe more than teams. It's incredible the interest it creates, and it is a big part of our magazine, always has been, and we give you a ton of information on recruiting, as you know.
You know, of course, you're featuring the SEC, and we don't want to leave out one of our teams in this area, the Arkansas Razorbacks, with Sam Pittman, hitting a big season with the Hogs there, and they got the program cranked up, and a lot of money over there at Arkansas.
They got a lot of money. I'm really surprised. I don't know how you felt, Chris, but I was really surprised that Sam Pittman got another year, to be honest. I did not think they would give him another year. Everybody loves Sam Pittman, great guy. I hope he can turn it around. And having NIL money certainly could. I mean, that's part of it now. There's no question about it. But I'll tell you, it's a brutal league, as I've already stated. I'm looking at their schedule. Let's see, they go to Auburn, A&M, but Oklahoma State second game. That's going to be a very difficult game. At Auburn, Texas A&M, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas, at Missouri. That's brutal. I mean, it's a brutal schedule. I'll tell you, I'll be surprised if Sam Pittman's the coach after this year. If he is, God bless him. I hope he is. Everybody, like I say, he's a great guy. But it's a brutal league, and their talent, they've got one of the worst rosters in the Southeastern Conference. I'm sorry, it's the way it is.
Well, you also list your All-American team, so do a lot of research into that, I'm sure, to get the best players on the best teams.
Yeah, and we give you more on that front than anything I've seen. We go, defensive, basically 20 deep on the wide receivers. I mentioned that Ole Miss had 3 of the top 25 quarterbacks. We go 25 deep. Running backs 25 deep. Of course, out in your neck of woods, you got Ollie Gordon, best running back in the country. He's a great bell cow for Oklahoma State to build around this year. Terrific running back. We go very deep on all those lists and with comments on everybody. So, no, it is a lot of research, and but that's always been our goal at Lindy's, Chris, is to give the fan a tremendous amount of information. Just that they can take it with them, enjoy the magazine, but have a great feel for the season that's coming up. We get the picks right sometimes we miss it. Picking is a tough deal. We get it right a lot, but we just want the fan to feel like he's got just a plethora of just a tremendous amount of information, and we think we're really proud that we give them that.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Lindy Davis, publisher of Lindy's magazine, and it truly is, as they say, America's leading football authority. And you make all of us media people smart too. So thanks for all the work you do and helping us out too. And have a great football season. Enjoy. And thanks again for Lindy.
Chris, thanks for having me on.
Tulsa World Prep Sports editor Barry Lewis joins us here on set. Talk about their big awards ceremony, the Tulsa World All-World Awards. Talk about high school football coming up in Oklahoma. That's next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Around the clock, throughout eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Our story.
It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
And we're joined now in the Oklahoma Sports Scene set by the Hall of Famer, Barry Lewis of the Tulsa World. He's their prep editor. The guy really is the driving force behind one of the great events in Tulsa, the All-World Awards, just held this past week here. Barry, give us a bit of history first of the awards. What number was this?
This was the 8th annual awards.
Great, yeah.
It started back in 2017, and we honor, I like to call it, it's sort of like the ESPYs for local high school sports, except we don't get involved in the politics like they do in the ESPYs.
Yes.
And so we honor, it's a celebration of the best performances and performers and fans and all types of awards from the past high school year. So it's really a great event, and for the last 5 years we've been presented by Bill Knight, and it's really, the event keeps growing and growing.
Now, who qualifies for the nominations into the All-World?
Athletes within 60 miles of Tulsa, and high schools that are within 60 miles of Tulsa, plus high schools within 75 miles of Tulsa that have populations of at least 5,000 in their town.
And your selection committee, you got a tough job. Who makes the decisions there?
Ultimately, for good or bad, you can either credit or blame me, because I have people helping me out,
right,
but I'm ultimately the one who makes the final decisions.
And you're talking about 21, right, varsity, boys and girls sports at all these high schools.
Yes, and we got 21 different sports. Of course, in football, we divided offensive and defensive players, but it can be quite an undertaking.
Imagine so. And you have 7 specialty awards. Tell us about those.
We have specialty awards for the best male and female scholar athletes. We have a comeback athlete of the year, an inspirational athlete of the year award, and got a lifetime achievement award winner. And then we have the best overall male and male coach of the year, and also for best overall coach of the year for a female team.
And who are those two?
Travis Hill, Muskogee's football coach,
sure.
and
job.
Sam Bowers, Oologah's soccer coach. Both of them are incredible stories. Of course, Travis Hill led Muskogee to its first state title in 38 years. And then Sam Bowers, he thought he was going to be retired this past season. He'd retired from Owasso, but he took the Oologah job in October, and lo and behold, he wins his first state title, and Oologah's first state title ever, but it was his first state title too in 28 years. And he's one of the great coaches in Oklahoma high school soccer history.
So with all the athletes, all the sports, who are the top male, top female athletes of the year?
It was really a tough choice. The winners were Brady Benham from Sperry, a 3-sport standout, and J.L. Austin from Owasso, also a 3-sport standout.
I don't know how he had time for all this stuff to also be involved. He's the main guy covering the Drillers baseball this season. And give us kind of a recap of the first half. We thought they might have shot that first half title for a while.
They did. Tulsa was right in it until the very end, virtually. The Drillers were not eliminated until the third to last day of the first half. And in fact, with 4 days remaining in the first half, they were ahead of Springfield in the standings, and Springfield won the first half.
Gosh.
So it was quite a wild scramble, but the Drillers finished a game under 500 in the first half, and now they start off the second half with their biggest extended home stretch of the season. They've got 15 of the first 18 games at home, so the next 3 weeks will be a great time to come out to One Oak Field and watch the Drillers.
Been a great marriage with the Dodgers, one of the great organizations in baseball. They're feeding some really good talent here, aren't they?
They are, and
taking some good talent too.
They are, exactly. But of course, all minor league teams face that, and of course, we'll see some of that talent in the major leagues soon. Dalton Rushing, the Dodgers' top prospect, is still here, and he had a really solid first half. It's just he'll be in the, as Drillers manager Scott Hennessy likes to say, he'll be in the majors sooner rather than later.
Scott's always been very upfront with the fact that this is my job, not necessarily the Drillers winning, but make sure the Dodgers are really winning.
That's right, and so his job is to get the players in and out of here as quick as possible and ready for the next level, and he's certainly done a great job of doing that for the past 7 years.
Glad to see Scott holding up so well. Got a cancer scare last year and stuff. Looking great this season.
Yes, and the Drillers are a fun team to watch. I mean, they were a streaky team as it turned out. They got off to a horrible start at home, but they've won 12 of their last 16 at home. And they'll, as we mentioned, the second half schedule to start off with, they'll really need to stay hot at home in order to contend in the second half.
Barry, though, is such a great baseball fan as well, and so I got to ask you your thoughts on Willie Mays and his passing.
Well, I only had 2 gloves when I was growing up, for the most part. One was a Tony Conigliaro glove, and the other was a blue Willie Mays glove. So the Willie Mays glove is what I use most of the time. So that, you know, what I thought of Willie Mays when I'm using his glove, and because I'm more of a Cardinals follower. I was more of a Cardinals follower than a Giants follower, but always a big fan of Willie Mays. Even though I never really saw him in his prime, I really, even at the end of his career, he could still do some amazing things.
Barry Lewis, Tulsa World, their prep editor and the guy behind, the driving force behind the All-World Awards. Barry, as always, thanks for joining us on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, my friend. We're going to right back with Robert Taylor, baseball historian, memorabilia collector, with more on the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays.
You've seen the billboards, you've heard the hype, and now it's time for the Wee Street Ice Center to open its doors and welcome you in. 140,000 square feet, 2 ice rinks, public skating, hockey, arcade, game simulators, and the largest sports bar and grill is sliding into Tulsa. It's the grand opening of the new Wee Street Ice Center, 43rd and Yale. Make your plans, get your skate on, or watch some sports today. The Wee Street Ice Center, now open and ready to serve you. Wee Street Ice Center, 43rd and Yale.
Winning action continues throughout the summer at Remington Park. Simulcast racing begins daily before noon from the top tracks across North America. Jackpot play is always available as the casino is always open. Mark your calendars now for the 2024 Thoroughbred season at Remington Park, starting August 16th and continuing through December 13th. Winning racing and casino play every day at Remington Park.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
It's time. Time to get back to the basics. Time to meet up with family and friends. Time to play ball. It's time to cheer on your Tulsa Drillers. It's Hornsby time. It's Tulsa time in the heart of the city. It's time to fire it up.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
That from Game 1 of the 1954 World Series, simply known as the catch. Willie Mays robbing Vic Hertz there in deep center field at the Polo Grounds. Well, this past Tuesday, June 18th, the sports world lost one of its real icons, Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays. We asked Robert Taylor to join us here. He's our resident baseball expert, great collector of sports memorabilia. So Robert, people say he was the best that ever played the game. Your thoughts?
Well, unfortunately, I wasn't old enough to get to see him play, but from all the history books I've read and the guys that I've been around in my lifetime, they all say Willie was the best. Even Mickey Mantle said he was the best.
Take a look at Willie Mays' career by the numbers, and these are incredible figures. Played 23 seasons, 1951 to 1973. Had 3,293 hits, 2,608 runs scored, 660 home runs, 338 stolen bases, career batting average .301. NL Most Valuable Player twice, 12-time winner of the Golden Glove, All-Star. It's incredible. 24 All-Star games, still the all-time record. And of course, Baseball Hall of Fame, 1979. Robert.
Plus, he missed 2 or 3 years to military
That's right.
service,
He went
too.
into the Korean War, right?
Yeah.
Talk about some of your interaction with Willie Mays. And you have a great story out in Texas.
Well, you know, if I first met Willie in St. Louis at a show in about '88 or so, got his autograph there. And then in 1990, there was a national convention in Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Texas. And it got Willie's autograph that morning. And he was doing 2 signing sessions that day. And a buddy of mine, we'd gone outside, got us a sandwich, you know, sitting out there in the shade. Golf cart pulls up, security guard, he goes in, he comes back out with Willie, going to take him back over to the hotel for an hour or so for him to rest. And anyway, the security guard had to go back in, and Willie started talking to us, just me and my buddy Kevin Irwin. And we're just sitting there talking with Willie, and the security guard came out and says, "All right, Mr. Mays, I'll take you back to your room." He goes, "No, man," he said, "I'm having a good time. So we got a good shade and breeze here, and I'm just going to sit here and talk with these 2 young men." And so we got to sit there for an hour and a half and talk with Willie Mays.
What a great memory.
It was great, yes.
You ran into him later at a steakhouse, right?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years later, Trail Dust Steakhouse. We was there to watch the Rangers and the Giants played the first ever interleague game on a Thursday night.
ESPN?
ESPN, and all the rest of them started on Friday. But the surprise that night was Nolan Ryan and Willie Mays threw out the first pitches. And then the next day, me and my friends were at the Trail Dust Steakhouse eating lunch, and they brought in Willie Mays and set him right next to us. So we got to sit there and talk with Willie again, you know.
And he said he remembered you.
He said he remembered me, but, you know.
And he said Willie has not been able to sign a lot of autographs in his later years.
Willie got glaucoma real bad,
right.
and he's lost his eyesight. So he just quit doing autograph signings and stuff. And he probably hadn't done a good signing in the last 10 years. So his stuff has barely been creeping up there. And now that he's passed away, I mean, it's really gone up.
Let's talk about some of the special items you have. This is?
Well, that's a 1951 Bowman reprint of his rookie card that's autographed. The big thing now with sports collectibles is autographed rookie cards or just autographed baseball cards, period. And so any baseball card, I was looking at some today on eBay, just seeing what the price is, and it's just crazy, you know. And this is
wow.
This is
two
of the greats right there, Stan Musial and Willie Mays.
Yeah.
I got this signed at the St. Louis Card Show. They were both there at the same,
neat.
so I got them both. And then
and the Oklahoma guy with Willie.
There's my friend Jim Gentile from Edmond, Oklahoma, and Willie Mays. That's taken in the 1961 All-Star games, what Jim told me. Yeah.
Well, now that he's passed, what kind of value do they start putting on these things? My gosh.
They're going to go up.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've been going up for a while because he hadn't been able to really do signings. But his cards, you know, we call them the Grin Reaper sellers because, you know, they wait till they die, then all of a sudden there's people put stuff out there. And they really haven't gone up that much because, like I said, he hadn't been able to sign for the last 10 years or whatever. And but it has increased some.
This has to be really special. Tell us about the bat.
The bat, Willie Mays signed bat. I got that signed at the National in 1990 by Willie. Sat there and watched him sign it.
Willie Mays, personal model.
Personal model, Adirondack bat. So
and that would be worth what?
I think I looked today. They were selling for about $2,500 on eBay.
So how is the sports memorabilia market right now, Robert?
It's hot. It's just since COVID, Chris. It just got a kick in the rear, I guess, and it's just really, it's just crazy. I was looking through stuff the other night, and I was telling Tracy,
his wife, by the way,
the prices. The prices, some of this stuff that's selling for that I have, it's just absolutely, it just blows me away.
And this is your retirement, though, right?
It's my retirement, yes.
You're not selling this.
Well, I don't know. You know, after what happened to our friend Wayne McCombs,
oh gosh,
I went. I spent 2 months going through his collection and selling stuff for his wife and kids, and that was an eye-opener for me, Chris. You know, I don't want to leave that to Tracy to deal with, and so I don't know. I'm thinking about starting to liquidate some of it.
You got a lot of years, a lot of collecting to do, Robert. You're one of the best for that, for sure.
Well, I really enjoy it. I love enjoying, you know, talking about it with the kids and everything, sharing stuff. And, you know, I started in 1976 when I was 9 years old.
Gosh.
And it's just, it's a great hobby, you know.
So instead of putting your baseball cards in the spokes of your bike like I did, you collected them.
Yeah, I collected them. Never played video games, you know. All my friends took that quarter and put it in a video game. I take that quarter and go buy a pack of baseball cards.
What's your summer like? Any Major League Baseball plans? Go see some live action?
I'm trying to talk Bob Shirley into going down to Texas to see the Toronto Blue Jays play, because Don Mattingly is, you know, his old Yankee teammate, is one of the coaches, and him and Don, they keep in contact with each other, but they hadn't seen each other in years. So my friend Dave Bells is the assistant clubhouse manager for the Rangers, and he told me to remind Bob that if he comes down to a game, it's air conditioned now. So Bob's really thinking about it.
Oh,
you know.
great.
That was a selling point. You know, he said Texas, St. Louis were the two most miserable places to play because it got so hot.
Robert, thanks for joining us on the show.
You bet, Chris. Anytime.
Some great memories, some great memorabilia here.
Yeah.
Robert Taylor, one of the very best. We're going to come back with our Tulsa Oilers football teams making a big run towards the playoffs with 3 home games coming up to finish the regular season. And Luke Hamilton, their play-by-play voice, will join us. That's straight ahead here on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
It's time. Time to get back to the basics. Time to meet up with family and friends. Time to play ball. It's time to cheer on your Tulsa Drillers. It's Hornsby time. It's Tulsa time in the heart of the city. It's time to fire it up.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Are you ready for some hard-hitting indoor football action with the Tulsa Oilers? Saturday night, June 29th, 7:05 at the BOK Center. Let's rally behind the team as they take on the Green Bay Blizzard. The first 1,000 fans get a Tulsa Oilers bucket hat. That's right, a Tulsa Oilers bucket hat. Don't miss the action. Tickets are on sale now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of Tulsa Oilers indoor football.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition. Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. We're taping on the second floor of the fabulous new Wee Street Ice Center. Nice and cool in here. Luke Hamilton, the play-by-play voice of the Tulsa Oilers indoor pro football team. Been busy this week on the road, and they got a big victory at Iowa. Now they're coming back home for their last 3 games of the regular season with a chance for the playoffs. We asked Luke to give us a recap of the game with the Barnstormers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you could just go back to the press release we wrote last year, which was the same scoreline in Iowa, downtown Des Moines, Iowa. That is, of course, same scoreline, 54-48. This Tulsa Oilers team in their inaugural season beat that Iowa Barnstormers team just like that. Even some, I would say, memories kind of came flying back during that broadcast of that game last year that we found this year as well. And I don't think you could find a more important victory that this team's been able to accomplish in their young franchise right now. And You want to talk about maybe do or die? I don't think the Oilers have a chance at the playoffs without that win on Saturday. And so that's what makes it so important. A little bit of a deja vu in one way, having the same score in that building as we did last year. But on top of that, some fourth down opportunities in tight red zone situations that Tulsa didn't come up with and get into the end zone with, just like they did in Jacksonville, where they found themselves in the losing column. So nice to see a little bit of growth there. The defense comes up and makes a big play. 4 interceptions in one game. This defense hasn't done that before, and it comes against their former quarterback.
And one of them was a 49-yard pick six just for the end of the first half by Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could get more of a good game out of Taylor Hawkins in that one for sure. I think one of the key abilities that he has is I think he's more naturally a safety at the end of the day. So he's really good at cutting off those deep routes, which is really productive for him. I think that Daniel Smith just really did not necessarily make the throws that he needed to make in that game. But regardless, I think Taylor Hawkins was the guy in that spot to make that play. I don't think anybody else makes that play. So nice to see him get a pick six, a 49-yarder. Probably pretty tired after that being a DB without a doubt, running that one all the way back. And it turns out to be one of the biggest plays of the game without a doubt.
And DeMarcus Adams had a big game, had a touchdown reception right before the half to give Tulsa the lead, and then opened the second half with another touchdown.
Yeah, DeMarcus Adams was, I mean, I'll be objectively honest about it. He was a guy that didn't seem like he knew the playbook, and he didn't seem like he was very comfortable just 1 week ago, right? And so he's been with the Buffalo Bills camp. He's been around the block without a doubt. So making those adjustments quick, we definitely didn't doubt him in that at all. Comes back and not only makes adjustments, but really found himself more open than anybody throughout the entirety of the night with a wide receiver corps. And you want to talk about his first touchdown. I mean, that was one of the best drives we've seen out of an individual effort from a wide receiver. 3 out of 4 plays targeted towards him on that drive, got the Oilers back in the game and, of course, extended that lead eventually. DeMarcus Adams is going to be a fun player to watch. You don't replace players like Josh Crockett, who's going to be out for the year, but you can sort of replace his production in other ways with guys like DeMarcus Adams.
Oh, the Oilers now 5-8, back home for the final 3 games of the regular season. And kind of give us a preview of those games, starting with Green Bay and a big giveaway for the fans on Saturday night coming up.
Yeah, there's a bucket hat giveaway. Of course, the first 1,000 fans will get to take advantage to that, which is really fun to be able to see. But I think the most important part of this upcoming game is the fact that you're playing the best team in the Eastern Conference. And you know what? The team you're chasing for the final playoff spot, Quad City, just beat Green Bay this past week. So it's doable. It can be done. It can be done by a team that's worthy of the playoffs. And so you've got that going for yourself coming into that game. I know season ticket holders are excited for that one. Realistically, I look at the schedule. That's maybe one of the only games you can afford to drop here down the stretch and still make playoffs. But that locker room's not thinking like a broadcaster at all. That locker room's recognizing this is a playoff game, and it means do or die without a doubt. So Green Bay is the opponent on June 29th, 7:05 kickoff for that one. But it is an important game, not only for that locker room, but I think for the fans. I think they know that they've got a team that's figured it out again. A little bit of a 2-game win streak and certainly extended to a franchise high 3 if they're able to pull it off.
Oh, we open the final month of the season, indoor season against the Quad Cities. That's coming up on July the 13th. That was a game involved our highest scoring game of the season. We put 72 points on it last time. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, nobody scored 72 in the league so far this year. That was a tremendous effort, something that Tulsa can look back on and say, hey, we can put up numbers like that. It's a little bit of a funny story. Of course, Andre Sale, ever since he's come in, his goal as an offense has been to do whatever he can to get this team to 50 points every night. Now they're starting to do that every night. And that's the fun thing to watch, 55 and now 54 in these back-to-back wins. That Quad City game is going to be the most highly anticipated game on the schedule. Quad City's the final playoffs position right now, 4th place in the East. You have to win that head-to-head matchup in order to sweep them on the season, get that 2-game swing. They still have a game in hand on Tulsa right now, so that bye week in week 17 is going to be important as well. But I don't think you're going to find a more exciting game coming off of a bye week as well to end up playing at Quad City. So want to get your tickets for that one. If you're going to make only one more game, I'd recommend the Quad City game on July 13th. And close it out the regular season on July the 19th against the Massachusetts club. And we owe them a tough 1-point loss up there in New England. Yeah, I don't think you can find a more wacky matchup so far in the young franchise that is the Oilers than going up against Massachusetts. It's been crazy every time. Some frustrating moments penalty-wise that have really caused some issues, but that's a
unbeatable team without a doubt. I think that locker room knows just as much as anybody that that game should have been in their hands. A lead at half, and you got to keep those leads. That's something that head coach Marvin Jones has preached on. They haven't done a great job of that, but they're getting better at it. And so I think that second time around, especially if this team's healthy, and then get back at it. They didn't have Josh Crockett then. They don't have him now again. It's definitely a winnable game.
Luke Hamilton, the voice of the Tulsa Oilers Indoor Professional Football League team, closing it out with 3 straight games at home. Get out there to support the team as they make the drive for the playoffs. Luke, thanks for joining us. Be safe.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
We're back with a very special guest looking ahead to Oklahoma sports scene after this break.
Winning action continues throughout the summer at Remington Park. Simulcast racing begins daily before noon from the top tracks across North America. Jackpot play is always available as the casino is always open. Mark your calendars now for the 2024 Thoroughbred season at Remington Park, starting August 16th and continuing through December 13th. Winning racing and casino play every day at Remington Park.
You've seen the billboards, you've heard the hype, and now it's time for the Wee Street Ice Center to open its doors and welcome you in. 140,000 square feet, 2 ice rinks, public skating, hockey, arcade, game simulators, and the largest sports bar and grill is sliding into Tulsa. It's the grand opening of the new Wee Street Ice Center, 43rd and Yale. Make your plans, get your skate on, or watch some sports today. The Wee Street Ice Center, now open and ready to serve you. Wee Street Ice Center, 43rd and Yale.
It's time. Time to get back to the basics. Time to meet up with family and friends. Time to play ball. It's time to cheer on your Tulsa Drillers. It's Hornsby time. It's Tulsa time in the heart of the city. It's time to fire it up.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Now, you don't want to miss next week's show. A very special guest, Joe Castiglione, in his 26th year as athletic director of the University of Oklahoma, to talk about the Sooners' trip to the SEC, some of his history at OU in a quarter of a century. You're really going to enjoy this. Also on the show next week, from Eugene, Oregon, the U.S. Olympic trials for the track and field. We'll have Chris Johnson, head women's track coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, the national championship team, and a whole bunch of Hogs there with him in Oregon. And a look to our archives, we pulled out an interview with Clay Martin, National Football League referee, who locally also is the Jenks athletic director. All that next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Till then, as we always remind you, be a good sport.